Hi guys, welcome back, and this is mmRADIO. Now we're going to bring back a thing that we used to do on the podcast. We are going to bring back duels.
Yep, that's right. Duels are back. And our first one is going to be between two fictional characters everybody has come to love. Marty McFly and Kevin McCallister.
From their respected franchises.
Home Alone and Back to the Future.
We all knew that. But before we begin the speculation, we're going to talk about how we actually figure out who wins. We use the Marvel Power Grid to figure out the character's stats.
And this is something Milo's actually done in the past to determine who would win out of, a dinosaur or a Korok. Hashtag Yahaha.
But before we determine who wins, we like to talk about their abilities. And then we speculate on how the fight would play out. We also add environment. The environment does not affect the stats at all, but it's fun to imagine how this fight would play out.
I say for this one, we're just gonna go with a classic field. However, there are random things that you would find on the field in the ground. Like sticks, and tree branches, and trees, and sometimes weapons for some reason. Let's describe these characters' abilities. Marty McFly is from Back to the Future. He has his friend good old Doc to help him out with time travel, so he can use the car to time travel and maybe run over some small children. He also has a flying board that he can go on, and I'm pretty sure he has a gun as well, but that doesn't really matter that much.
Moving on to Kevin McCallister. Kevin McCallister is a sociopathic child who enjoys people suffering. Kevin McCallister is basically a child version of the villain Saw. He makes crazy traps, and basically that's really all his abilities, but he is insane.
It's time to fight!
Now.
Alright, so let's say that good old Marty McFly is gonna start us off. He stares at the small child at the other end of the field and thinks, this kid doesn't know what he's doing. He grabs his gun. he grabs his gun and he fires a bullet because that's the only thing he really needs to do right now.
Okay, if you didn't know, Wild West guns are not very deadly compared to modern guns, so Kevin McCallister is just gonna sort of duck down, and he's gonna be completely covered by these just ribs. Marty McFly probably thinks, what the hell is this kid gonna do? But Kevin is probably setting up some sort of trap.
Marty watches in the opposite of horror. What the hell is this kid doing? So he starts setting up a little trap of his own, except he's not really that smart, so he just makes a ring of leaves and puts some food in the middle.
As Marty is just making this little weird food trap thing, what he doesn't know is that Kevin McCallister also has a gun. It's a BB gun, but it still really hurts, and he shoots Marty McFly right in the forehead.
Marty McFly is very, very sad, but he's also more angry at Kevin. So what he does is he grabs his good old time traveling car and doesn't use it for time traveling. He uses it for what he calls running children over. So he rams the car into Kevin, except he might not know that Kevin might have something there for him.
As Marty McFly rides his car towards Kevin, what he doesn't know is that Kevin actually set up some tar, and cars actually can't move through tar. Then Kevin pulls out a match, lights it, and drops it into the tar. The time machine is now burning with Marty McFly in it.
Marty seems to be in a pretty bad place, but he actually has a trick up his sleeve. And by up his sleeve, I mean the tiny little fire extinguisher he just happened to have in his sleeve that he uses. But it's no match for the fire. So instead, he turns up the time machine gas, puts on his funky helmet, and kind of just time travels. Yeah, he's still on fire, but he's 15 seconds before.
The thing about that, when they time travel, the car actually goes very, very cold. So the fire would be put out, But if Marty looks at the other version of himself, he will cease to exist.
Marty has a very good idea. So, Marty has experienced time travel before. He knows how it works. He knows that if his mother falls in love with him, he has roughly 24 hours until he fades away from the picture album. So, you know where this is going. He shoots himself, but from the past. And he gets his little picture, and he sees, oh, it's fading away. And you may say, oh, well, that was like 15 seconds ago, so he's gonna die in 15 seconds. Wrong. Marty has mastered the art of not fading away. So what he does is he time travels with his car, which is now perfectly fine, further into the past. 20 seconds before. So now he is before the time he died. So he has an extra 15 seconds. He does this process 10 times. Now he has 2 minutes. He does it a bunch more times. Now he has an hour to kill.
You just made this duel have a time limit. That's so dumb.
My bad. My bad.
McCallister is sort of just gonna shrug it off, you know, not that big of a deal. And he is gonna run up to Marty and punch him right in the gut.
Marty has experienced this timeline so many times. Marty ducks underneath the punch, except he hasn't actually made it this far thus far. So, he doesn't know what's coming next. But lucky for him, he has his cool hovering board. So he hovers on top of Kevin's face.
Kevin is probably like, it floats! Marty, as he's going across Kevin's face, when he lands on the ground, he accidentally lands on some magnets that Kevin had planted. And the board sticks to the ground. And then Kevin pulls out an even bigger magnet. And that even bigger magnet attracts the hoverboard. And he throws the magnet far, far away. That sends the hoverboard flying. And Marty not on it.
Marty doesn't want to get it back. He doesn't really feel like it. Marty does know that he still has his trusty time machine that he ripped out of his car because he felt like it, and also a shotgun. So what he does, he shoots his Western rifle into the air, which is a very dumb idea, but he does it more and more times. Then, he rips out the time machine from the heart of his car, he crunches it, and he throws it into the air as well. The bullets ram into the time machine, and what happens is it opens a time realm. Yeah, it opens a wormhole, and he jumps high enough, and by high enough I mean like the highest a normal human can jump, and he just manages to get pulled into the gravitational force of the wormhole, and he flies in. You may be wondering, what the hell is he doing in a wormhole? Well, he's cooking something, right? He travels into the year 1950. Why 1950, you ask? Well, it just happens that the plains that he was in just happens to be one of the first ever founded government places in all of the country they are in, which is not the USA or Australia, because what world would these two characters be in the same place? Anyway, in this place, in this time, he finds some secret government documents, he learns how to build a bomb, and that's the end of his turn.
Okay, I am very confused. You just broke your time machine, bro.
Yeah, I did.
And it probably takes Kevin, and it probably takes like Marty like 20 years to do that. So when he's back, he's like 40 and all. So he comes back as this maybe 40-year-old, 60-year-old man, something like that. And Kevin McCallister is sort of confused. And he's like, easy peasy, I can kill this guy. So what he does is that he starts making traps, but he can't see him. And then he hides away.
So, Kevin is hiding away, and he's working on some suspicious stuff, right? But Marty, he doesn't have a time machine now, or a hoverboard, but he does have a gun. He starts shooting off into the distance, trying to scare this kid out, because this kid, he's American, he's probably been in like 5 school shootings, so he's probably freaked out, right? But Marty McFly didn't realize this was a very bad idea. Kevin is going to use the bullets.
Okay, so basically, Kevin, because he feels no emotions and no pain, he just sort of looks at the bullets, and then he just sort of picks a couple up, and he's like, these are really, really cool. So, with his shotgun, he replaces all the BB gun bullets with real bullets. He starts in the exact same place, but he yells out to Marty McFly, and this is probably gonna trigger him a lot. Come fight me, or your chicken.
Marty got very triggered by this, of course. That word specifically, chicken. I don't know if any of you have watched this movie, but anyway, Marty channels his inner I don't know, he does like all the cool anime signs, like, yeah, he just gets really angry, and he storms off into the bushes looking for this kid.
So, at his first step, a massive paint can slams into his knee.
Marty is laughing. He's like, a paint can? Why is there a paint can here? It's not like there's gonna be like a grizzly bear who's attracted to this specific color who's gonna come out and kill me.
Another paint can slaps on his other knee.
Wow, he says, it would be a real shame if a grizzly bear that was attracted to a specific color came out here and ate me.
And then Marty is probably thinking that the next trap is just gonna be another paint can. But he's wrong. The tree next to him falls on top of him. Now, this doesn't do that much damage, but it temporarily stuns him.
Wait, how do I turn on the green filter? Marty is disabled.
Okay, so Kevin McCallister is gonna take up this opportunity to walk up to Marty and look at him straight in the eye. And then he says, you know, you're not so tough. And then he pulls out his shotgun and stares directly at his face. But then he realized it would probably more fun if he just, you know, like, shot his knee. So he shoots...
Bro, that's so sad.
So he shoots Marty's knee and runs away.
This makes Marty really mad. So, what he does is he realizes that on the ground there are little bits of time. Yep, not time machine, not wormhole, time. If you could see the face Milo's doing right now. There are little bits of time on the ground. He tries to touch it, but his finger phases through. And when he takes it out, there's no finger there. Marty kicks it. His foot doesn't go away. It must be larger than the piece of time, so it just stays. What he does is, he calls Kevin, who just happens to be smaller than himself. Kevin comes out because he's like, oh, okay, we're gonna do this the old-fashioned way. But Kevin finally falls into the leaf trap that Marty had made at the start. Marty is gonna try and lure him into the time realm.
Kevin is gonna be like, this wasn't even from your movie, what are you doing? And then he's gonna pull out a ladder, climb out of the little thing, and hop in the car. Now the car is no longer a time machine, so it's just a normal car, and he runs Marty McFly over.
Hey. Okay, fine. He tries to run Marty over, but the time consumes the wheel as it runs over.
They slightly damage the wheels, but Marty McFly still gets hit by a car. Kevin McCallister looks at him and says, "You know, I sort of feel sorry for you," and he shoots himself in the knee as well.
That's so dumb. That's just really dumb. See, that made Marty McFly even more angry. Fine, he's bleeding out, and he puts a bit of time into the gun, and he shoots right at Kevin's other knee.
But sadly, the time actually consumes Marty's gun.
Shut up! Actually, that would make sense.
Kevin McCallister sort of feels sorry for Marty, so
You keep saying that!
then he shoots Marty in the arm. That was his last bullet, so now it's a fist fight.
So, Marty grabs the small child and throws him onto the ground.
Okay, well, Kevin's legs are probably immediately broken, and he screams like, "Ah!" But then he pulls out a pocket knife.
Marty is scared of the pocket knife, but he channels his inner alpha male and runs away.
Kevin throws the pocket knife straight into his knee, making him not be able to walk.
Marty has now several injuries and is unable to walk, as Marlo said. So, he is basically almost dead. However, he channels his final inner attack and, punches the ground until, the ground, he makes a hole and then he just goes in the hole.
Kevin is confused. He crawls towards the hole, and he throws the knife through Marty's neck, killing him.
He tries to grab the knife, but it stabs his hand instead. He grabs the knife with his stabbed hand, throws it up into the air, and it falls down on top of Kevin's head. It stabs the inner of his skull, but not his heart or brain.
It's supposed to end in some
Okay, fine! Kevin's dead!
Wait, what?
Kevin's dead! Hold on, let me just do the...
Kevin is dead.
Let's just move on to the stats and see who actually wins.
Of course! Let's go over the stats. Marty McFly's intelligence is a normal, which is gonna be 2. His strength is 2 because he's also just a regular guy, and his speed is 2. However, his durability is a 3, because, well, between having a bulletproof vest on your vest and not having any protection anywhere else on your body, that's gonna be somewhere in between. His energy projection is probably a 4, because he can time travel. His fighting skills comes up to a 3, because, well, he has some training. And his damage potential is also gonna be a 3. This brings up Marty to 19. Now, let's go over Kevin. Kevin has an intelligence of 4, because he's much smarter than Marty, even though Marty's a grown person. But however, Kevin's strength comes down to a 1, because he's just a child. His speed is a normal, is a 2, which is impressive for a child, and his durability is a 2, which is also impressive for a child. His energy projection is just a normal, because, well, he doesn't really have anything like that, but his fighting skills are 1. But his damage potential is what really leads him. It's a 6 because of all of his traps. This brings him up to an 18 though, so that means that Marty ultimately wins the fight.
We also asked AI who would win, and it also said Marty. But strangely, it says that Kevin was a crafty kid, which is true in some cases, but he's also a psychopath.
Yeah, this AI wasn't very good at determining who would win. However, it is a plus. So, everybody let me hear you clapping. Woo! Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed today's mmRADIO episode. We went a bit more technical with this one. I hope you liked it. But we're signing off now, and okay, it might not be next week. Milo, give us a good exit off.
I hope you enjoy the podcast. Eat beans.
What?